Hey guys, and welcome back to the Nicola Collective podcast with your host Emilio
and Olivia Nicola.
And we're going to talk about why SEO is non-negotiable for businesses, especially when you are being strategic as a Christian entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so to keep it short, SEO means search engine optimization, right? Doesn't mean some random, it's not for nothing. It means something. So what happens is that businesses optimize their accounts, they optimize their websites, their Google My Business profiles, and they optimize them so that search engines like Google will be able to see them, make them more visible, and be more appealing to customers and clients, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is something that we do for our clients. This is our specialty, but I think a lot of people have been misinformed or don't really understand what SEO is because it's kind of complicated for a lot of people to just, it's not usually talked about in marketing. It's not the most talked about, I'd say, but it is probably one of the most important things you could have in your business.
Well, the reason why I would say it's not the most talked about is because it has a bigger learning curve, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Whereas social media marketing, that's fun. It's visual. It's all these different things, and anyone can do it. And it basically takes It takes no brains to basically. I mean, it does. Obviously, social media marketing has its place, and people have to be strategic. But
anybody can learn.
Pretty much anyone can learn that. Yeah. SEO is a little more complex, and whether you run it yourself or you hire someone to do it, it's super important for your businesses. And the reason why is because if someone searches up, say you run a clothing business. Someone says clothing businesses in Los Angeles or Christian t-shirts in LA. Mm-hmm. What are they going to find? Are they going to find your business? Or are they going to find someone else's? And why would they find it? So one of the key elements of SEO is, adding keywords into your website, things that are relevant to what you are marketing, right? So in essence, if it's that Christian clothing brand, you're going to start talking about t-shirts for Christians or Christian mottos or stuff like that, things that tie in together. You're going to use scripture. You're going to use a whole bunch of different things. You're going to use a lot of location-based keywords, and you're going to implement them through your pages. Yeah. And the reason why is because Google will crawl or index your pages, and they're going to say, hey, this is valuable. This makes sense. This is talking about exactly what people are looking for. Yeah. So you have to be very mindful about the questions that people are looking into because both AI and Google are looking for different things. They're looking for people who have the most credibility. Yeah. So, of course, there's going to be those real big billion-dollar companies. They're always going to be there. They're going to be at the top, and that's because they got credibility. They're just huge. Now, you can beat those big businesses if you were to be strategic, if you were to use SEO wisely. Now, I look at SEO not as just something to be smart with, not as just something to spend money on or something that just gets you by. SEO is like stewardship. You are stewarding your company wisely when you do SEO. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because you are putting it out there. You are trying to get people to your business. You are trying to help people. You're trying to grow, right? You're not just trying to sit there idly and let things just, it's going to happen. That's not how it works, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we don't, a lot of people don't understand how to do SEO. Mm-hmm. But I think because they think it's search engine optimization. They think, they see it on Google, but they don't know exactly how to put their business on Google or how to get their business to rank higher on Google. But basically, one of the main ways that we do this is through answering people's questions and solving problems for people, basically, because people have questions. And where do they go? Google, they go to ChatGPT, whatever. And your business should be the one that pops up as the solution, along with other options. But your business should be the one that makes the most sense.
Right.
And you need to be the go-to source for Google to show you to people that are your audience or are interested in what you do. And I think a lot of the times people are they're just looking for exactly what you're doing, but they're just not informed enough. And they need their questions answered, and that's where you come in. So we do this by writing blogs, and that's something where, there's so many different ways to do it. You can have AI do it. You can do the research yourself and do it yourself. Mm-hmm. You can hire people to do that for you. The culture and the landscape of like SEO is shifting a lot too, because now we have AI, and before, years ago, we didn't have AI, we didn't have anything like that. So we were just, writing as if we were writing from scratch, basically.
What happens too is that people will only write up, a homepage and an about page, and then or a contact page, and that's it. And it's like, what are you supposed to do with that information? Like, what's an example? Landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna dig up your yard.
Yeah. No, it's like,
no,
why?
You need to explain how you're doing it, what you're doing it, why you're better, why you're the go-to, where you're located.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you add different things, and you link other pages with buttons. So it's like, you never orphan a page. You never let a page stay by itself. You have to let things become interconnected, because then that gives someone somewhere to go. Yeah. And so on your homepage, you'd have your about page, and you have your services page, and you have all these different things that you can go to, and that keeps people looking, and it keeps people informed. And if you have the right amount of information, and just in general, you are the most credible, Google is going to,
and Google will rank you. And that's why it's super important, because now there's so many different ways you can do this, but really, like, you should be trying to provide an answer for people. That's what AEO stands for. It's answer engine optimization. So you're basically answering somebody's question directly in whatever you have, like your frequently asked questions, your service pages, and Google should rank those pages.
Yeah, and AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Grok, a whole bunch of different ones, Gemini, they're all looking for the same stuff, right? They're all LLMs, large language models, and they're all trying to index different pages. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of hosting platforms, they kind of block LLMs from crawling because, one, they can kind of look a little bit like foreign. They can look a little bit bad. You know what I mean? And so those hosting platforms are going to kind of block things up. They're going to set up these roadblocks, firewalls to prevent things from being crawled because they could look like hackers, right? Yeah. And so what you might have to do if you want your web page to be indexed in AI, like LLMs, large language models, right? Yeah. You might have to contact your host, the support team of your hoster, right? Yeah. Like Hostinger, Elementor, Bricks, Wix, Shopify, all these different ones. They can all help you out and get you through it, and they will help you unlock that. And what happens then is further enhancing your AEO and SEO, because now you have more ability to be crawled by search engines and answer engines.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, I would say the most important, especially if you're a business that is a service-based business, and you have a physical location, even if you don't have a physical location, but you're someone who is providing a service within a certain area, is to get your Google My Business profile set up. Because a lot of people do have their Google My Business profile set up, like a lot of businesses do, but they don't optimize them so that people are seeing their location, like when they're driving through that area, when they're searching up in that area, for specific things. And I think geotagging is the most important way you can do that.
And another thing too is that people fail to realize how important the basics are. Like, optimizing isn't that difficult for the most part. Yeah. Because it's like, if you're optimizing Google My Business pages, it's, location. Where is it at? Like the address. Yeah. You also got to think, okay, what time does your business open? Is it Monday through Friday or Saturday and Sundays at different hours? And then, okay, what about reviews? Do people like it? Okay, what is this business about? And so, like, people don't realize it's pretty simple to get into the beginning stages. Yeah. And adding geotagging just further enhances that, you know?
Yeah. And I think, too, getting your pictures, getting your, just so people can see your business, like, up front. They know what to expect. They don't want to just like walk in blindly to your business. It might have been like how it was years ago, but now people do their research before they come in, and they're checking out all the competition before they come in to see you. So it's like, you better be prepared. You better have the right information. You better have your facts straight before you, you know, if you expect people to want to come to you. So it's like, I think, you know, with SEO, with AEO, it's like, it's really just about answering
people's questions.
Answering people's questions. That is like the biggest thing. That's the biggest way we can describe SEO in a way that makes sense to people. It's just like, throughout your website, what are you saying to people? How are you helping people? You should be providing value from the moment they come into your website or click on your website, and even on your Google My Business profile. You should be providing some sort of value and reason for them to come to you, whether that be offering a special, whether that be that you answered their question. But it's like, something should stick out to them to make them want to call you. And I know with a lot of our clients, that is how it goes. Like, people see like a blog, or they see you know, something in their area.
Well, another thing too, like, to keep in mind is, like, if you don't know what questions to ask for, it's pretty simple to figure that out. So what you could do is, like, type in anything that involves what your business is. If you're not showing up, it's a whole different story. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just that now you got to try to get into it. But you look at it, and what are people actually asking? So there's people also ask sections. There's, you know, similar questions, those kinds of boxes that show up on the page. You can go all the way down to the bottom, and you can find all the different questions, or you can go in the middle. There's a bunch of different ways.
Yeah,
and
there's
you can
also
look at
websites that you can go to see exactly what people, I mean, I know you've probably heard of, well, people actually probably haven't heard of this, but Answer the Public. That's a really big one. And then there's, what is the one where it shows you, it's like a tier list of something, like it shows you exactly what the most common, I don't even know. There's a bunch of them. We should probably link them somewhere, like, for this, but so people can see, like, how they can, for their topics specifically, they can see, oh, okay, what are people searching about, you know, landscaping, about window washing, about, you know, digital marketing, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's like, what can I do to write about this? What can I do to answer people's questions?
Right.
That's all marketing is, really, is like over answering and showing people that you're the best. You know, like, basically, that's, like, I would say is like
think of Google as the produce section at the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna look at it, and if you see that ugly, like, rotten tomato, you're not gonna grab that one. You're gonna look at the one that's actually good. You know?
Need to give people a why too, like, why people should come to you. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the times we just say, oh, we have this, but there's no explanation, nothing. So it's like we've been saying, it's just answer people.
Yeah. And another thing too is that SEO, like, going back to the whole topic of SEO versus social media marketing and just walking in it as a Christian, is like, we're taught that we need to build on the firm foundation, right? And a reflection of that, like, obviously it's how we build our lives. It's how we look at our relationship with God, how we communicate with God, how our interaction with him is. And so building on that firm foundation is great for our faith, but it's also an example to what our businesses could look like, right? Yeah. And so SEO is, sure, it takes a while to pick up. Sure, it takes a while to figure things out, but you're building a firm foundation. If you're only doing social media, you only got one leg and you got nothing else, right? And so you're not really picking things up. If you're doing SEO, you can implement your Instagram accounts. You can implement all your other social media profiles.
And it's long lasting.
Like,
posts go away. Like, you know, they don't, I mean, they do show.
They stay there, but it's like people are only seeing that post, like, you know, right when you post it, like for doing blogs and stuff like that. That's going to be there for a while. People are going to constantly see your stuff. Yeah. So that's the part of SEO where it's like, it's longevity. It's not just, you know, instantaneous. It's long
and it's
game.
The best way to get the hot audience, the hot, ready to move audience of like, I'm in your area, I'm ready to go right now, you know?